Welcome back to the Crash the Pond podcast. It is a Tuesday, March 28th edition of the pod, and should be a fun one today, Jake. Spring is almost sprung. How close are we? How close are we to spring?
I have
You should
zero.
know this. You should know this off the top of your head.
Why would I know that off the top of my head?
I don't know. Oh, it says Monday, March 20th.
Yeah, it's already spring.
So it's already spring.
It's already spring. Spring has sprung.
Getting a little more sunlight than we've had in past weeks. So that's nice.
Yep.
Baseball is just around the corner.
Baseball starts Thursday.
You know, it's good living right now. Can't complain.
Yeah.
Can't complain.
Yeah, the Ducks are just playing out the string.
Yeah, everything is great as long as you don't watch the Ducks play hockey with any sort of like critical view or
As
analytical
long as we're not
view.
talking about the team that this podcast is about.
I mean, as long as you're just not talking about how they're actually playing, because man, that game last night against the Colorado Avalanche, like the scoreline wasn't actually that bad. I think they lost 5-1, but it's just the way that they got manhandled. Like, you know that line, like there's levels to this. Like that's what that game felt like. Like the Ducks came out, and I think they had like a 9-4, 8-4 shot advantage, something like that, and they actually grabbed an early lead. And basically, the Avalanche were just kind of like, okay, well then, and just and just decided to turn it all the way on. And I mean, there were periods where the Ducks legitimately just couldn't touch the puck. It felt like back in my day when I was on the UC Irvine B team for roller hockey, and we would play Arizona State, who the only reason they had a B division team was because of how many good players they had, and we would just get. You know, we would lose like 18-0 and we wouldn't touch the puck for 10 minutes. Like that's what that looked like.
Yeah.
And didn't look very fun if you're a player on the Ducks team. So
Yeah. And before we get into, we have an overall pod topic for this, but just to briefly touch on the last week, Nikita Nesterenko makes his NHL debut and scores a goal in his second NHL game. I was one game off. I had predicted he would score in his debut, and he ended up scoring in his second game. So I was slightly off with that. But what have you thought so far?
Yeah, I think you got to be careful because on one hand, I think he's looked solid. I think that he's looked like he can hang in the NHL. Like his skating stride to me, it's not, it's a little kind of awkward almost because he's so lanky and he's not necessarily going to blaze with speed, but I think he's got solid edge work. He's strong on his skates. I think that he fills defensive lanes really well. He's got a smart stick. We haven't really gotten a chance to see him make too many plays with the puck, but he just looks like a guy who, at a minimum, has kind of an intriguing physical profile, and we've seen him show that skill at the college level, so I'm intrigued.
Yeah, and we saw it in his first game even. And I feel like every game this tends to happen, but he finds the puck in dangerous areas.
Yeah.
And that is a skill. That is a skill to be able to find soft spots where either you make yourself open, you're able to chase the puck down and get it in those spots, but he's able to find himself in those locations and has been able to get shots off in those spots. And he's only scored one of those goals, and that came off of brilliant McTavish feed, but I think he's definitely shown that he has the ability to get his own shot. And I think that is actually one of the more difficult things for especially someone new in the NHL to do, to be able to find their own shot, get their own shot. And so I think when this trade was first made, to backtrack slightly to the Klingberg trade.
Ducks win the trade?
Yeah, exactly. I tweeted that out, and some people really took me seriously when I said that and completely missed the joke. But we said it at the time, right? The Nikita Nesterenko part of it was probably the more critical part, where how did they view him? Because everyone focused on the fourth-round pick and say they only got a fourth for Klingberg, and that seems like a big disappointment. And while you and I both agreed that on the surface seems like a disagreement, the big question is, how did they rate Nikita Nesterenko? And how does he look? And, I mean, to my view, granted, small sample size, 3 games, but he looks like he's an NHLer. Like, I don't know if he'll be that next season all along, but it looks like he's someone that can become an NHLer. And I think regardless of where his draft positioning was at, that's where he's at right now. And I think that they were able to pull a 21-year-old NHLer that probably is more so going to be a middle 6, bottom 6 type of guy, but age aligns with the Trevor Zegrases of the world. Same draft class as that. age aligns with Jackson Lacombe, like in that same age range of this Ducks contending window. And so even if you looked at it and said, well, it's a disappointment because they only got a 4th-round pick, they got a player that fits and projects to be a decent bottom to middle 6 guy in the contending window of the Ducks age range. And I think that is kind of where this seems to be trending.
Yeah, he just looks like a solid player, and I think that's the thing is he's got a nice kind of comfortable floor to his game.
Yeah.
I think you can really easily picture him just being a solid depth player. And I mean, if everything breaks right, maybe he can even exceed that. Maybe he can jump into the top 6. He does have a little skill. He does have that ability to find the quiet areas. It's still a tiny sample, but it's at least good to see that he's getting an honest shot. You know, he's getting to play with Mason McTavish. Yeah. He's getting to play. Yeah, he's getting to play in the top 6. And so, you know, who knows how much of that is Dallas Eakins and how much of that is Pat Verbeek. But, I mean, we've seen Dallas Eakins not really give rookies that much rope, not really give them that great of a chance to start. And as it turns out, he's getting the full trust of his coach really early. And yes, there are some injuries, so maybe that mitigates that a bit, but still.
Yep. And to add to that on the injuries front, Trevor Zegras left last night's game with an apparent injury. I don't think anyone's really reported on exactly.
No one knows what it is.
But, I mean, I think at this point in time, you and I both are on the same page here. Just shut him down. These last 8 games, they're not going to impact things long term. And I think his long-term health is going to be the most important thing. I think if he's 100% healthy, sure, you don't obviously shut him down and say that's it. But if he's like 60, 70%, I think you err on the side of caution with him.
Yeah, I think to me, if he's healthy, if he can play, there's still value in him playing. He's a 22-year-old center who's still, building his experience in the NHL. So I don't like the idea of shutting him down there. But if there's really any re-injury risk, like in the near term, like if it's something that can be re-aggravated really easily, then yes, shut him down, because it's just, you don't want to make this any worse than it needs to be in a season where there's really nothing at stake. So yeah, that's where I part from you a bit, but I still agree that err on the side of absolute caution. I mean, that's basically what they're doing with Drysdale. I mean, Dallas Eakins basically said, and I don't think we touched on this last podcast because I don't think it was reported yet, but Jamie Drysdale is done for the season. Yeah. And Dallas Eakins basically said that if the Ducks were in the playoffs, that this might be different. I'm heavily paraphrasing here, but it seems like he is, again, this is just my interpretation, but it seems like he'd be able to play if the games were really truly mattered. And instead they're just taking a very cautious approach. And I mean, you can make the case that it worked out very well for Max Jones.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it seems like that was the right course to take with Max Jones. He's had a solid enough season, depending on your viewpoint on things. But I think he's definitely played better than I think probably where the expectation either you and I would have had for him coming into this season. So, yeah, I agree with that completely. So something to keep an eye out on it as kind of the last we're in the home stretch of the season.
Yeah, I mean, Max Jones is a career high in points this season.
Yeah,
16 points in 61 games. So
Cam Fowler has a career high in points, I think.
Yeah, was he at like 44?
Something like that.
Yeah. So anything else from the last week that has stuck out to you in particular?
Nothing too much. I think there's the standard, a little bit of worrying within the fan base about all the wins that have happened in the past. And even though the Ducks, I think, lost all 3 games of the past week, I feel like the season has become such a blur to me in terms of what's happening because all the games are starting to mesh together. But the Ducks, let me just kind of confirm that. Yeah, the Ducks lost every game over this last week in regulation. And so, I mean, hell, the Ducks haven't won a game since the Columbus game.
Yeah, it's funny how you don't hear about that, like when they're losing.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In their last 8 games, they've won 1 game and lost 1 in overtime.
Yeah,
I think that's it.
The Ducks are basically locked into that bottom 4 now. Like, there's no way that Montreal and them are going to really overlap. Montreal's 10 points ahead now.
Yeah, it's kind of locked in there. And I mean, it's a 3-point gap between Columbus.
Sorry, go ahead.
it's a 3-point gap between Columbus at the bottom and the Ducks at 4th. And so it's actually really tight between all those teams. And and so I think we'll just have to kind of see how that plays out. It looks like Chicago is losing after 2 periods to Dallas, and Columbus already lost, and San Jose still has to play. But I mean, there's still 8-9 games left for all of these teams, so it's enough time for those 3 points to be made up.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. After all the hand wringing, the Ducks are right there. Like they are 3 points out of the bottom spot, and they've really distanced themselves from that next group. But man, I just have to. I'm startled seeing the Coyotes just having basically kicked themselves out. Like, the Coyotes have a 20-12-4 record at home.
Yeah, I was about to say, someone pointed that out.
That's insane.
I think in our Discord. And
the mullet.
The ASU effect. At one point in time, there was the Vegas effect, right?
The ASU flu.
I think we should look at all the teams that are going there and look at the performances of the guys in the early 20s. Yeah,
that is wild that they have that record. But to me, the story is just the fact that they are no longer in that running, despite the season that they had up until basically a month ago.
Yeah.
So that is crazy, but that's good news for the Ducks because now they're in it. It's funny how that tide is actually completely turned.
Well,
they are in it.
It's almost like what you and I talked about. The Ducks had some. I mean, their 5-on-5 play's been bad for a while, and they got some strong goaltending from John Gibson, and it's kind of come back to earth a little bit in that sense.
Yep.
And now they're kind of right back in that race. And so, I mean, we'll see. The only difference, I think, between maybe the Chicagos, the San Jose's, and the Columbuses is, I think we saw it in that game against Columbus a couple weeks back, but they just do not have any form of goaltending right
now. Yeah.
That's the
Canadiens scored
thing.
8 goals against Columbus.
The game the Ducks won was insane with how poor the Columbus goaltending was. And then you see the same thing in Chicago and even in San Jose. These teams are actually not playing horrible hockey. So, I mean, we'll see. But that being said, any goalie can have their day, and if a team plays good enough hockey, they're going to be able to win games. So, we'll see.
The Ducks have lost 5 in a row. So, there you go, folks.
Yeah, exactly.
To the tankers out there.
Yep. So, all right. Want to move on to our big picture topic?
Yeah, bold predictions. So, I think because baseball season is rolling around, you're seeing a lot of beat writers for different teams putting out their bold predictions for the season. And that got me thinking, the Ducks season is about to end, but we can still make bold predictions because to me, the actual intrigue is about to start. I don't think that anyone looked at this the past 3 months, maybe outside of the trade deadline, that, I'm really curious what's going to happen. So now, I mean, Pavel is going to have a lot of cap space to work with. He's going to have some free agents to sign. And then you've got the rest of the season. So we're going to do each 3 bold predictions for the Ducks. There was no actual parameters for this. So this doesn't have to be about the offseason. This doesn't have to be about next season. This just could be anything. I set no parameters for this. And we were trying to get our pal Derek Lee on the show, but he couldn't make it. However, he was kind enough to get us his predictions, and so he sent me over his predictions, and credit to Derek, there's a lot of explanation under these. And I mean, it makes sense because he's not here to defend his points, but we'll see. So we've got a total of 9 bold predictions.
Yeah, and I might have another one to add at the very end now that I think about it. But yeah, my predictions are just 4 sentences. So, granted, I'll add conjecture on top of it. Derek, we have to speak for, so that's why. All right, how are we going to start this?
Okay, well, since Derek isn't here, and he actually spent some time to contribute to a podcast he's not going to be on, why don't we give him the first take at this, the first crack? Okay. So this is his first prediction. Max Comtois will be extended a qualifying offer.
Ooh.
And I will read his 3 bullet points.
Yeah, let's hear it.
It would appear that Comtois' time with the Ducks is coming to a close. He has been benched and scratched several times this season by Dallas Eakins and has struggled to find an everyday role in the lineup since his breakout year. However, there's still a quality player in there somewhere. Reports from Renaud Lavoie were that the Ducks wanted a second-round pick for Comtois leading up to this year's deadline, but no team was going to trade for a player whose value was seemingly at rock bottom and someone who could potentially become a free agent this summer. With a slew of Ducks forwards this summer, with a slew of Ducks forwards hitting free agency, I think this upcoming season would be Comtois' last chance to prove he deserves to be here, this time under whomever Pat Verbeek decides to appoint as the new bench boss. So there's actually another prediction in there, which is that the Ducks will have a new coach.
Yeah.
So I see you, Derek, with
But
the
is that
skirting
bold?
the rules.
Is that bold right now, though? I don't think that's that bold of a take.
Oh, also another addendum I should put here is that there were no parameters on what bold means.
Fair.
So bold is just in the eye of the beholder, and there's no definition of prediction either. So it doesn't mean that you actually think it'll happen.
Oh, man. No, I think that's an interesting take from Derek, because I think I've kind of been the one that thinks that they actually aren't going to give him a qualifying offer. But I think you look at the way that he's played down the stretch, kind of how they've used him, while maybe that's a sign that maybe they won't qualify him.
When they've used him?
Yeah, I also think that maybe... I think the real question is we don't necessarily know if Verbeek's view of Max Comtois is the same as Dallas Eakins' view of Comtois.
But at a certain point, like, you're watching this player get jostled around the lineup. Like, if the GM truly believes in him, don't you think this would be a little different?
Yes, but Pat Verbeek did come out and say that he does not influence lineup decisions.
That's fair. I'm just throwing out kind of the counter argument there.
Yeah, and so I think at this point in time that is a bold take, because in my personal opinion, or a bold prediction, because I think in my opinion is that I don't think he's going to be offered a qualifying offer. I think that Verbeek did not do it with Sam Steele, and so I think that's more likely, which makes this bold. So good on Derek for that.
Well, so I actually, just to quickly add here, one of my predictions was that he is not qualified.
Okay.
I think the Ducks have basically done everything in their power to suppress his value.
Yeah, that's not bold then.
I don't think. Well, look, I said bold is in the eye of the beholder.
Team Derek.
Also, his qualifying offer is $2.4 million, and I can't see the Ducks talking themselves into that number. Like, it just seems,
especially after the Sonny Milano situation last year.
However, maybe the Ducks don't qualify him, but still end up signing him. I mean, that's an option as well. I don't know if that's likely at all, but don't rule it out. So I don't think that they qualify him. So I'm gonna dissent here from Derek's.
Okay, so is that one of your bold predictions then?
We'll knock that one off the board.
So we've gotten one from you and one from Derek.
Yep.
Is now it's time for me?
Yeah.
All right, my first one. I'm gonna start off with just really bold, and I've said this. I don't know if I fully believe this, but I mean, it's a prediction, and you said bold, and so I take things there. The Ducks make the playoffs next season. They go from bottom 4 to making the playoffs next year. They pull a New Jersey Devils.
Wow. This would be an even bigger jump than the Devils. Like, this would be a historic jump.
How bad were the Devils? The Devils,
they were not this bad. Like, whatever you're about to say, they were not as bad as the Ducks.
I was just more meaning from the standings perspective.
Same point. I don't think that they were.
I'm saying that's not bold. You make that every offseason. It's only been like 2 offseasons.
Yeah, you know what's coming. You know what's coming to mind when you're saying that is, you know, that meme of Goofy who's like, "I'll do it again."
Yeah,
that's you right now. Like,
the Devils had 63 points last year, and were in 28th. They were 5th worst in the league.
Pandemic season.
Last season.
Yeah, like I said.
Last season. Time, I just want to be a hopeless, have my head in the clouds for this, enjoy it. I mean, realistically, I think that they could push their way into the battle for a playoff spot. I think that there's going to need to be a lot of moves in the offseason. I think, realistically, to make this a full prediction, I need to see what happens in the offseason. But I see bold prediction, and I can't help but go for this just because.
Okay. That's the spirit. That's the spirit. That was the legislative intent here.
Yeah,
that's,
exactly.
That's where I wanted you to go, and you did that.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Let's see. Let's go back to Derek.
Yeah.
So this is his next prediction, and I want to throw in another caveat because I have some scorchers coming up. I don't necessarily believe these. I'm just throwing them out there, and if they do happen, I can take credit. If they don't happen, I can hide behind the shield of, I was just throwing that out there.
Yeah, exactly. Why do you think I did this right now with the make the playoffs?
Yeah. Yeah, well, there you go. I want to protect us here from the onslaught of pushback that will. I mean, there's going to be podcast will generate.
There's going to be pushback for that.
Okay, Derek's take: Jamie Drysdale will get a bridge deal instead of a long-term contract. Boom.
Oh,
that's got a little pepper to it. So
that does.
Let's read the synopsis here. Focusing on more contract things, the Ducks are in a unique position with Drysdale. They certainly think he's part of their future, but with him hitting restricted free agency this summer, Do they potentially offer him a show me deal at 1 or 2 years in order to evaluate his performance next season? A strong showing could garner him an even better deal, and 2-year deal will walk him into arbitration eligibility as well. Where do you stand on that? Because that is a left field take.
I like that take, mainly
I disagree.
From the Drysdale perspective of it.
It makes more sense for number 6 than for the Ducks, I would say.
Well, was Derek's point about it being?
He said the Ducks would offer him that, and I think it would be flipped. I think Drysdale would want that.
I think that's kind of his intent, but sure.
Yeah, probably.
I think that Drysdale getting a bridge. I think that would make sense there, seeing as he missed the entire year this year, so that's going to hurt his contract and how much he's going to be able to get paid, just because that loses a year of essentially sample size to be able to build off of, another year of production and everything like that to be added to it. So I could see him wanting a 1 or 2 year bridge as a result of this and going with that, and then getting his longer term deal after that. I could also see the Ducks saying, screw it, we're going to offer you this and pay you more than we probably should because we don't have this sample size, to try to entice him to sign long term. So I like Derek's prediction. I also think that there is a chance it goes the other way and he signs long-term as a result of the injury.
I would bet the farm that he signs a long-term deal.
Ooh, I would not. I'd say it's 50-50.
I would bet the Sutter farm that he signs a long-term deal. So
Lou scared me right now. He just put, hi, I can't hear a word you're saying, but have a good stream. I think it's because he's not actually listening to us.
He's at Disney World.
Chat. Yeah. I thought that no one could hear us for a second.
No. Okay, I guess it's my turn. So where do I go with this? Okay, I'm just gonna do it. Why not? Trevor Zegras signs a 5-year deal.
Okay, now explain.
So Puckpedia, and I confirmed with them, and I'm hoping that they're not wrong, but Puckpedia.com has Trevor Zegras' UFA year as 2028. And I'm thinking back to the whole snafu with Zegras in the pandemic season, where he got sent down right before he was going to hit a certain threshold for years of service. And I didn't check back to see how that would play into it, but I'm just going to trust Puckpedia here. I'm just going to put my faith in them. Trevor Zegras signs a 5-year deal that walks him right into free agency, because the way that the Ducks have handled him and his contract, the way that this thing has gone, I think that Trevor Zegras goes, you know what? Why would I sell some of my best years where I can potentially get more money for this team that hasn't really done anything for me? So Trevor Zegras signs a 5-year deal. I don't know what the cap hit will be, maybe in the $6 million range, but that is my prediction.
Yeah, so he has technically only 2 years of service, so 5 years would walk him right to UFA. No way in hell the Ducks do that.
Hardball. He's going to... Oh, and I'll throw in another mini bold prediction there. He sits out to get his 5 years.
They're gonna do if that's the case, they're gonna do 4 years and do that semi UFA where
the fake UFA deal,
fake UFA deal where they have some control and can move him if they want to after as an RFA. So it's either gonna be a 4-year deal or it's gonna be a 7 or 8 year deal. 5-year deal is not happening.
5-year deal, bold,
yes, but bold, sure. Wrong more likely than not.
Yeah, I mean, I think I could still see him getting like maybe 6 years.
What's more bold? Me saying the Ducks will make the playoffs, or you saying 5 years?
I don't know. I think they're kind of bold in different ways.
Yep.
Okay. Anyway, you're up.
All right. You say bold. I start trying to think pie in the sky. I guess maybe I should add that caveat here. When I hear a bold prediction, I kind of think, all right, what is my best case scenario, most fun situation prediction that I want to make here that just makes me happy? This has been a very down and dreary season. I don't need more negativity on this. I want to go with positivity with these bold predictions just to have fun with it. Might as well. Olen Zellweger makes the Ducks next season and wins the Calder Trophy.
Wow. Okay. I was going to say that first part is not really that bold, but then you found a way home.
I added to it. Olen Zellweger is one of the most dynamic offensive defensemen in junior hockey. And And he's someone that has almost leading the WHL in points by defenseman when he has played significantly less games. We saw it actually early on, granted preseason, but he looked not out of place in preseason games. He is someone that's that from a strength perspective is known to be a very strong guy. We've heard the stories about the amount he eats, the amount that he's in the gym. He's a gym rat. I don't think that the strength of the game is going to really come up to him. And I think that he's going to get a chance on that power play. And I think he's going to be putting up points next to Zegras, next to McTavish, next to Bedard. Just throwing that out there. And he's going to become the Calder Trophy winner.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, let's see here. I think we have time for another before we take a break.
Very bold. Some people are saying won't be Calder winner, but will be in the top 5. Sure.
But I mean, Calder winner to me also suggests he's going to spend the whole season with the Ducks.
Yep. And that's why I said make the Ducks.
And the ramifications are, but make the Ducks. Like, he could play, a few games before going back to San Diego.
Make the Ducks. My intention with that statement is he's on the Ducks all season.
Okay. Wow. That is somewhat bold. Bold. Okay.
I took your prompt and really ran with it.
That's good.
I didn't do these half measures.
Who are you accusing someone of taking half measures right now?
I mean,
are you? Anyway,
Trevor Zegras 5-year deal?
I don't think that's a half measure. How's it that? Okay. Anyway, let's get Derek his third take in here. This one's a little lengthier, so let's see. Oh, another Derek take / prediction that is in direct contradiction with the prediction that we have made. Okay. Jackson Lacombe will make the team out of training camp, but Pavel Mintyukov and Olen Zellweger won't.
Damn.
Ooh, dropping the hammer on you.
Damn.
He just dunked on you.
Derek's coming for me.
Yeah, so here, I'll try to read this quickly. The sentiment among many fans is that Mintyukov and Zellweger will be given every opportunity to break camp with the Ducks. I'm sure that will be the case, but the opportunity to have both of them playing top 4 minutes down in San Diego may be more beneficial than throwing them into the fire. I think I would probably, I don't know if I'd agree with that. Zellweger was fine in his one-game cameo for the Gulls at the end of last season and made some good plays during a pressing year. I think he could do with spending a little more time in the AHL to adjust to the physical nature of the game before transitioning to the NHL. He certainly has the tools to flourish. Mintyukov has put more emphasis on his defensive game since being traded to Ottawa earlier this season. I would like to see him spend a little time in San Diego before making the jump. Lacombe is expected to sign with the Ducks after his collegiate season concludes, but his signing may come with just a few games left in the NHL season after Minnesota advanced to the Frozen Four. There's still a possibility that Lacombe signs and plays in the final 2 games this season, and his performances in those games, if he plays, may give him an upper hand going to training camp next season. Your response?
I think the Lacombe part's interesting. I think that he's kind of in a good spot. I think you also add in the fact that Lacombe's older, and so I think that probably has it going for him. The fact that he's going to be 23 next season, or going to be going into his age. He's the same draft Trevor Zegras, so age 22, 23 season next year. And so he for sure is going to be signing with the Ducks and playing those last 2 games. That's all but guaranteed at this point in time. Just so that he can get the contract. That was part of the reason why he was agreeing to sign, was that part of it. I kind of disagree on the strength part of it. I think that Zellweger shown that, but I mean, you can always add to that. But I think personally he's ready. It's also possible that this is a hope, and that's why it's a bold prediction on my part. And him being in the AHL is more so set in reality.
Yeah.
Because you look at the way that and this is now just providing the flip side of it. The way that Zellweger was handled in preseason, and it seems like Pat Verbeek was very direct.
They're slow playing him.
They really, it almost felt like there was a clear plan in place for him of, hey, we're going to get you the first preseason game, then you're going to go back just so you can prep for your junior season because this is a big junior season for you. And that's how we view this the best, as compared to a guy like Noah Warren sticking around for a long time. And it felt like this was what they had figured out at the end of last year through summer and talked with Zellweger about and put together a plan in place for him. Will they do that again next year with the availability of him being in the AHL and going up and down? Or will they give him the opportunity to earn that spot out of preseason? And training camp, if they're allowing him to earn that spot out of preseason and training camp, I think he makes a team. If there is this preconceived notion that he needs to spend some time in the AHL, then it's a whole different conversation. I think that is maybe more realistic. I also think maybe the other part of this that we're skirting around a little bit is we don't necessarily know how a new coach is going to view this.
Yeah.
And a new coach may really like a guy like Zellweger, and that may be his jam and a guy that he wants. A new coach may not, and that may drive Zellweger to being in the AHL.
Would the average NHL coach get Olin Zellweger, feel comfortable with Olin Zellweger to start the season in Anaheim?
No, I don't think
Probably not.
No, I don't think Dallas Eakins would have been.
And I think I would definitely bet on Zellweger and Mintyukov spending significant time in San Diego next season. I just think that I think it's just a great opportunity. Like, you can have them playing really meaningful minutes. You can have them be playing in every situation in a pro environment, and maybe that they do end up surpassing that. But I think that's the anti-bold.
Maybe this is a contradiction of my bold prediction, but my bold prediction is that bold.
Yes,
it's meant to be off the beaten path a little bit. So
correct.
Yes, Fire Bites. Mintyukov can go to the AHL next year. He turns 20 before the end of the year, or end of the calendar year. So before the 2024.
Yep.
So that makes him eligible. All right. So I think it's time, though, for a word from our sponsor. Spring has sprung, and our friends at Manscaped have the best tools for some spring cleaning. They've already helped you tidy up all the nooks and crannies of your body's basement. But this year, Manscaped can help you get the preferred presentation on that beautiful face with the new Beard Hedger Pro Kit. Make sure you look your best this spring by using code CTP to get 20% off plus free shipping at manscaped.com. It's time to tame your mane with the Beard Hedger Pro Kit. The sun is peeking back out, which means you'll have to show your face in daylight again. So use the kit to make sure your scruff looks award-winning, whether you got glorious beard flow or some smooth, sleek cheeks. The kit starts off with the Beard Hedger, a waterproof cordless trimmer with a rotary wheel that gives you 20 hair cutting lengths with one guard, so no more messy drawer full of add-ons. It also comes with titanium-coated T-blades that are tough on hair but smooth on your face, leading to single-stroke efficiency that brings satisfaction one stroke at a time. The Beard Hedger is a high-tech piece of art in a travel-sized bag with a long-lasting battery universal charging and a strong motor. The kit has liquid goods to make you feel good. Starting with beard shampoo and conditioner, you can't treat your beard like you treat your pubes. That's why the kit has a special shampoo and conditioner specially designed to moisturize, reduce ingrown hairs, and replenish your beard's natural oils and promote beard health. The Pro Kit also has Manscaped's beard oils. The nutrient-infused oil relieves dryness both on the beard and the skin beneath, while still adding a little shimmer and shine to liven up the look. Cap it off with the Beard Balm, a pomade that shapes, styles, moisturizes, bringing the amazing scent of fresh eucalyptus, rosemary, and lavender essential oils. And not to mention, the Beard Hedger Pro Kit also comes with 3 free gifts: a beard brush, a comb, and scissors to ensure your beard is ready to impress. So you can save 20% off and free shipping with the code CTP at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping with the code CTP at manscaped.com. Focus on the face and use the Beard Hedger Pro Kit for the cleanest look in the game.
Wow. There you go. Go check them out.
Thank you so much.
Help us help you.
Yep.
Okay.
Great products.
So, okay, it's my turn. Yes. I've got a couple left.
Okay. I've got 2 left.
Okay. You have 2 left?
Do
you have 4?
Well, yeah.
Okay. Well, then I will do some things. I'm going to meld 2 of these together, and I'll throw in a 4th if I feel like it. We'll see.
Okay.
Actually, no. You have 2 for sure. Okay. I'll just do these one at a time. Okay. Ducks change jerseys next season.
God damn it.
Oh, did I beat you to the punch?
Damn it. That was my 4th one.
Was I quicker on the trigger? Okay.
You were.
Well, okay. Now, the word change here doesn't necessarily mean they'll have new jerseys.
But they are going to have, I think the reports are they are going to have a new jersey next year with the 30th anniversary jersey.
So I think that at a minimum, the orange 3rd will become the home jersey. Like, if they do nothing else, they'll do that.
Yeah, I'm kind of believing that. I think where there's smoke, there's fire. Pete Blackburn tweeting that out.
Well, have you noticed that the Ducks never ever wear the black jersey at like for any kind of promotional or ceremonial event? Like the owners only ever wear the orange. Wild Wing only wears the orange.
Anytime they give out a jersey to someone in the stands, it's an orange jersey.
Yeah, exactly. So I really do think that we're going to see a change in the jerseys next season.
Yeah, and so maybe that's where it's not necessarily a rebrand. It is just changing to make that the primary.
Yes, I think that at a minimum that will happen.
Yeah. But let's see. And Firebites ad, did you notice that in the season seats events they announced that the last game of the year will be orange themed?
Now, why might that be? Why might that be?
Firebites is speculating. I think the last game of the year they announced the jersey change. Who knows?
That's a spicy one. That's exactly the spirit that I'm looking for here.
Yeah.
Okay, what is your other prediction?
My other prediction is this, I guess, is more vague, but it was the best I could really come up with trying to think this through. Ducks make a major top 6 acquisition in the summer.
Okay.
And by that, I'm talking about the name that comes to mind right away is a team that is going to, I think, potentially be in a cap situation, I think is what it is, and it's a player that they are looking. I think there are reports that he's on the trade block. Jesper Bratt. That there are some issues with his RFA status.
Yeah.
The Ducks have the ability and cap space to offer him what he would
do you want to upgrade your prediction here and just say Jesper Bratt will be a Duck come opening night?
No, I don't. I wanted to hedge.
Oh, that's lame.
I wanted to hedge.
You're dead to me.
Oh, wow. Hey,
Okay.
I went bold with my first two with the Calder and make the playoffs. Let me hedge on this one.
So what did Kevin Fiala cost the Kings? I'm forgetting now.
Let's see. There was that defenseman that they traded.
Oh.
The Kings traded.
Yeah.
I can't think of his
It
name.
was the
right
guy
now.
they
Brock
got from
Faber,
from
first round draft pick and
Yeah.
Brock Faber. Would you be comfortable with the Ducks giving up their 2024 first round pick?
Wow.
Would you would you be comfortable?
No. Well, actually, yes. Just top 5 protect or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
2024 top 5 protection, and
Yes.
this might suck because of him just signing with the team, but Jackson Lacombe.
Sure. I mean, Jesper Bratt is really, really good.
Is Jackson Lacombe an equivalent for Brock Faber? I don't really know.
I mean, there wasn't Brock Faber a collegiate player too?
I think he was a second round pick also.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, he played for University of Minnesota. So
Yeah.
there you go. So I would say yes, equivalent.
Okay.
I mean,
So-
similar type of kind of archetype of player, yes.
Yeah. So I think the top 5 protection's key, but yeah, I mean, that would be big.
maybe top 3. Like if the Ducks if disaster strikes again, like you just can't be left high and dry like that.
Yeah.
That is a disaster. Because really, to me, like if the Ducks are just a tweener team, or like maybe they're hanging around but they're not completely bad, losing of the 15th or 17th overall pick to me is just not like this death knell.
So let me ask you this: Firebites puts it up. 2024 pick should be a no. We need to keep it. This is how rebuilds don't go well. We need to stay the course. Don't push early. That's how you become the Sabres.
Well, that's why I'm hedging here. Like that's why I'm saying like if they go completely south, you still have that protection.
So, and the pushback I want to have there actually on that's how you become the Sabres. The way that you become the Sabres is you don't build properly. It's not the continual losing and everything like that and continually being bad, because the Ducks now will have what will this be? 5 straight top 10 overall picks?
Yeah.
Like, this is a significant amount of top 10 picks that they will be having, and a top 3 pick in, what was that, 2022, or sorry, 2021, probably going to be a very good draft pick in the 2023 draft, potentially someone that's eligible to, or going to be maybe making the jump into the NHL right away. And where those rebuilds really struggle is that the teams don't identify the right players to bring in.
You got to get better at some point. And Jesper Bratt is 24.
Well, it's not only that, but you look at what the Sabres did. They brought in Kyle Poso and signed these guys to massive free agent deals.
Sam Reinhart.
Like the just bringing in the wrong guys. And so instead, by giving that up for Jesper Bratt, who is 24 years old, going to be 25 this summer. He's the same age as Troy Terry, so he's on the older end of your roster, but he's still within that range of your contending window. And so it's not as if you're bringing in a guy that is going to be older. You're bringing in a guy that is kind of within your range, someone that is really, really good on top of that, and really could go well as a left winger, whether it's with McTavish, whether it's with Zegras. Like, the Ducks need someone like that.
He would be fantastic with Mason McTavish, I think.
Yeah. So I think that you have to be able to give to get. And so I think maybe doing a top 5 protection on the 2024 pick would be the way to go. I think you're spot on there. But I think you have to be willing to look at moving that in the right package. I don't think you just obviously trade that pick to trade it.
No. It has to be for the exact right piece that you feel really good about long term.
Yep.
And I think Bratt is close to that. So
yep. Agreed with that completely. So that was who I had in mind with my, fine, screw it. You've talked me into it. Ducks get Jesper Bratt. There's my bold prediction.
Number 63 in orange.
Yeah. Now I'm just really checking to make sure that he is still on the trade block, and that was also the reason for the hedging.
I don't think there's anything that's come out that's like contradicting that.
Yeah. So I think it's the main reason he sees an RFA this summer, and I think that it's going to be tight for them to be able to make that fit.
Yeah.
I think that's the whole.
And they've also had like a hard time signing him in the past, despite him being an RFA, and it just doesn't seem like the team and the player have a great relationship.
Well, I think they're going to have to decide between him and Timo Meier, basically.
Yeah, and you know which way that's going to go.
Yeah.
Like, despite the fact they didn't give up anything noteworthy, you still moved heaven and earth to get Timo Meier. So
yeah.
Okay. Here is another take I have. I actually have 2 more, but
go for it.
This one's more fun. The Ducks will bring back Eggplant and Jade for the 30th anniversary. There will be an Eggplant Jade jersey for the 30th anniversary. Did they do it for the 25th? But does that jersey that they had count as Eggplant and Jade?
It does not. I mean, technically there was Eggplant and Jade on it. The Eggplant was very small.
I think that okay. Let me upgrade this prediction a bit. They will bring back Eggplant and Jade in a significant way. In a significant way, yeah, like maybe like in that
what
way.
What they did for the 20th anniversary.
Like it's not an alternate, but it's a jersey that they're still going to wear more than once. So different from the 20th.
Yeah, I think that I think that is the correct take. I've heard some rumblings that might be something that's happening.
Ooh, insider Jake.
But who knows if that's true or not. So we'll see about that.
Yeah, you're going to end up on Puck Empire now.
Yeah, I know, exactly.
Hat tip, Jake Rudolph.
By the way, we haven't talked about it. What do you think about the 30th anniversary logo?
It's fine. Like, it's nothing really earth-shattering, but it's solid. Good silhouette.
Yeah,
I
like it.
Good number font, too.
Significantly better than the 25th.
How so?
The 25th anniversry logo.
What was wrong with it?
So, I mean, here's the thing. The 10th anniversary logo was good. The mighty, like that was obvious.
Oh, the X. Yeah.
The X, that was just a really good logo.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say the 20th was good also. I think it was just super clean, super simple. The ribbon on the bottom worked well. Looked really good on the side of hats. I have a hat with that on the side. I really like that logo. It's like a perfect for that.
25th also great.
25th, it's like the 25 got pregnant.
The baby bump?
The baby bump.
You didn't like the baby bump on the 5?
I did not. It looks so bad. It's like that is just like that logo to me is like if someone just like I don't know if you told AI to make a 25th anniversary logo with the Ducks logo. Like that is like the easiest like path of least resistant logo.
Well, I love that logo. I personally love it. But the only reason I love it and the jersey is because of how much you seem to hate it.
Yeah,
and
I know. I knew you were going there.
Hearing you just burn about it and other people burn about it, it just brings me joy. So I enjoy it.
The 30th anniversary logo being the Mighty Ducks like background, the crest background.
Yeah.
And then I think the 30, I think just everything about it is super good. I like the established in 1993 The way that's kind of written there, it almost looks like kind of your classic like T-shirts with like when the university was established or something like that.
Yeah.
And so I mean, and you have the WebD in there to have that there also.
It's just solid.
Yeah.
Like I think in theory you could do that logo for all of them. Like 25, 20.
100%. Just do that. Make life easy. Should there be a 35th anniversary logo?
No,
I don't think so.
Now it's the race to 50.
I think 25 makes sense, as does 75, because they're kind of like quarter of a century.
Yeah,
marks.
25, 50, 75, 100.
I think they'll do 40 and they'll do 50. I think that will be the next.
Aren't you just kind of milking it at that point?
Well, yeah.
Okay. I also had, and I don't know how strongly I feel about this anymore, but Tyson Hines and Nathan Gaucher make the team.
Okay.
I'm backing off of that, though, for some reason. I don't feel as bold as I did.
Be bold. Go for it.
You know what? Tyson Hines makes the team.
There you go.
And you know why? Because Tyson Hines looked great last year. And I actually thought that he was one of the Ducks' better players at training camp. And I think that the Ducks actually want to have, Minchukov and Zellweger develop. I think Lacombe, there's no guarantee he'll be on the team either. So why not Tyson Hines? I mean, I think Pat Verbeek really likes his game. I think he's got that kind of pro-style game already. So sure, why not? And then Nathan Gaucher. Pat Verbeek loves size, so he also makes the team. I almost got that right last year. Let the record show. That was my bold prediction last season as well. So I'm coming back for more. I'm coming back to the well, and this time I will prevail.
Yeah. So, by the way, I didn't say this, but yeah, my other prediction was that the Ducks. Let me see how there will be new jerseys for the Ducks.
Ooh,
and by
that's different than me.
Well, what I meant was a new home and away set. So it's going to be the third jersey becoming the home. I think the white version of that is going to look so clean.
Do you think that they're going to do that? That they're going to have an entirely, because they're going to have a new jersey somewhere in there.
They're going to have. Supposedly, what the rumors are saying is that they're going to have a 30th anniversary jersey.
Yes, but I'm saying for the home and the away. So the home is the orange currently.
Yeah.
The
and
away
make
would
a white version of it.
Yes. I'm just curious what that's going to look like. If it's just going to be a white version, or do they maybe even redesign the orange one?
I mean, Firebites is saying, I think the reverse retro becomes the away jersey, or that's me smoking hopium.
Well, I think it'll look like that. I think it'll look very similar.
Well, I mean, the question is, I think they could go one of two ways. They either do the reverse retro look and use that as a template for the home and away. I don't think they're going to have
which would be the original template.
Yeah, I don't think that they're going to. I don't think that they're going to want to go back to that template, though. I think they're going to want to keep the current template. But even if they do, I don't think they're going to want a mismatching home and away set.
Yeah, I don't see them doing the orange home with the current away.
No. They won't. Well, they wouldn't do that. They would just essentially do what they did before they made the white version of the current jersey, which is that they just started wearing that jersey more. They wore it for all those playoff runs.
So the white version of the current alternate jersey, that with the black pants, and maybe they change their gloves with the orange cuffs, that could look really nice.
Yeah.
That could look really,
I've seen
really
just some
nice.
people make mock-ups of that, and just like the same jersey, same everything.
Yeah. I think the white would actually look better than the orange, personally. I think the logo just kind of doesn't get drowned out by all the orange.
Let teams wear white at home. Let teams pick what jersey color they want to wear.
Yeah, just do like the NBA, where it's like there's just basically no rules. Like that's what it should be like. I would prefer, instead of the orange to be the home, to have a black version of the current orange jersey be the home. But that might not be a popular take, so I'll leave it to the side for now.
Okay.
But yeah, so my prediction is alternate. The current alternate is the home. A white version of that is the away. A retro night, eggplant and jade, and then a mystery fourth. I don't know what that'll be. So 4 jerseys next season.
Okay.
If I'm right about this, I have to get some kind of prize.
Sure.
Okay. Well, I think we just got through all our takes and predictions.
Yeah, we did.
That was pretty seamless.
50 minutes.
Not
now
too
it's
much
time for questions.
Not too much debating, not nothing, so that's good.
I mean, they're bold predictions. There's not a whole lot of debate. They're meant to be.
They're meant to be bold. It's controversial.
Firebites, by the way, want to give them a shout out. They subbed to us for resub to us, and they're saying your prize is my Prime sub. So thank you.
That's a great prize.
There we go.
Hat tip.
All right, we're gonna start with our Discord for questions. Then we'll go. I have a DM on Twitter. Then we'll get to YouTube and to Twitch. So Shaken Wings asks us, what would you do if the Ducks kept Aikens not just for 1 year but 3? They say their reasoning is that they are having a lot of young prospects coming up to the NHL, and he is good at developing young players, so he is the right man for the job.
If they were to do that, I think you have to call into question everything you know about Pat Verbeek.
Yes. Yeah.
There's just no other. Did you see the Pierre LeBrun article about Aikens the other day, by the way?
No, I just saw that clip that you posted.
Yeah, I mean, that was the only relevant part.
Okay.
But he didn't make a prediction either way, but he commented that he thinks that the way that the Ducks were evaluated, or his understanding is that the way Aikens would be evaluated this year was not on wins and losses, but on the development of players. And I think that even if that's true, and even if they're really happy with how the players have developed, that still doesn't matter if the Ducks want to actually get better next season. Like if they want to win now, coach, Aikens isn't that. If you want to win, maybe if the Ducks see themselves, like to the question, if the Ducks see themselves being bad for another 2 years and they want to keep developing, then maybe that's the only scenario where I could see Aikens sticking around.
Yep.
But even if they're in this development mode, it's still a terrible decision. He's not a good development coach.
Yep, completely agreed. I just don't even know. Hey, OD-Flow said, Felix, who do you have on Friday? Eddie Kingston or Claudio Castagnoli?
Eddie Kingston.
There you
Shout
go.
out Kingston, Jamaica.
There you go. Eddie Kingston is going to win the ROH title on Friday. All right. And then I've got this DM. Let me get to it really quickly from our good friend Trevor Zebras. And funny that he mentioned this, seeing as we just talked about Jesper Bratt. But my question for the pod is, can you guys go over what a Jesper Bratt RFA offer sheet would look like, the fit he would be for the Ducks, and the realistic possibility considering New Jersey likely won't have the money for both him and Meyer?
I don't think it'll be an offer sheet. I think it would be a trade.
Yep, agreed.
So there's your answer.
Yeah, I think that an offer sheet, he would be in the upper echelon of that, which I think just makes it where it really wouldn't make a whole lot of sense from that perspective. I'm trying to look up exactly what the offer sheet calculator has it as. But yeah, if he's in the $8.4 to $10 million range, it will be 2 first-round picks, a second-round pick, and a third-round pick. If it's over 10.5, it's 4 first-round picks.
Yeah, that's. Either way, like that's a big price to pay. Like I don't think Jesper Bratt would go for that in a trade, which kind of says everything. So,
yep, exactly.
This is why offer sheets don't happen.
Yeah. All right. Back to, and now we're going to get to Twitch and YouTube. So for those of you listening on your favorite podcast services, you can find us each and every time we do a podcast at either youtube.com/crashthepond or twitch.tv/crashthepond. And if you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free Twitch Prime gaming sub each and every month. It does help out more than you can imagine. You can just be like we had said, Firebites, and do that for us over there. Or if you prefer YouTube, or if you just use YouTube, because everyone at this point in time uses YouTube. Yep. Find us at Crash the Pond, subscribe to our channel, like our videos. It helps out more than you can imagine. So we're going to get to this question. This one came from Garrett Fielding early on, saying, question for when you get to them regarding the captaincy. Fowler's name gets thrown around a lot, but Silfverberg is the longest consistently serving assistant. Is that not how that works?
I mean, am I supposed to infer that means he thinks Silfverberg will be the captain?
Yeah, I that's not really how it works. A guy can be an assistant for so long and just stay like that. That doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to become the captain. And at the end of the day, it doesn't make sense for Silfverberg because he's going to be gone probably after next season.
Yeah, he's got 1 year left on his deal, and I mean, who knows if he's going to keep playing after? Like we just don't know what his future holds. So I would bet the farm against Silfverberg being the Ducks' next captain.
Yep, I would agree with that also. Jake M. also in our YouTube chat says, does the 2024 pick become easier to part with if they end up with a top 3 pick this year?
Yes, I think so. I think that changes things a little bit, right? Like if you get a top 3 pick, you're either getting Connor Bedard and Adam Fantilli, or choose between Carlson or Michkov. So to me, at that point, you're getting a guy who could go first overall in any other draft, and with any of those three, and at best, you're getting a generational player. I still think it's hard to part with the 2024 pick, but it does make it a little easier. Like, I just don't think anyone would deny that.
Yep.
Especially if it's Bedard.
Agreed with that. Hardcore Luchador in our Twitch chat asked, who do you guys think the Ducks' next head coach is? Bruce Boudreau, question mark?
I don't think it's Boudreau. I would bet against that as well. I don't know. I really need to start honing in on this like coach research, because this has become a frequently asked question. I think that it will not be a retread coach. How about that? I don't think it'll be.
Do you consider Andrew Brunette a retread?
Not really. I think that to be a retread, you have to have gone through a head coaching cycle like 2 or 3 times, and he hasn't done that.
Okay.
So I think Andrew Brunette would not be that, but I would bet that it would be more like a current college coach or an AHL coach or an assistant coach.
I go back and forth on that. Like, I wonder if the Samiolis are really scarred from this Dallas Eakins experience.
That's fair, but at the same time, you sign Pat Verbeek to whatever contract they sign him to. Like, there has to be some trust that this guy knows what he's doing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's why it may end up being like an NHL assistant as opposed to, let's say, an AHL guy or a college guy. But I just don't think it'll be a guy who's actually been a head coach for like more than a season in the NHL.
Yep. All right. Hardcore or Firebites asks us, here's a question. Does Zegras get a 5-year offer sheet?
Oh, man.
5-year, 10 to 12 mil?
So what would be the compensation? Is that the 4 first?
Yeah.
Do you accept that if you're the Ducks? Like, or I should say, do you decline to match? 4 first-round picks. I mean, I don't know who's making the offer. Like, who is this? A team that's
yeah.
But that's a lot of first-round picks.
It's a lot of first-round
picks. No, it's Trevor Zegras. Come on. You're hoping to draft the Trevor Zegras with one of those first-round picks.
Exactly. Thought about it for a second. Go back to it. So, I mean, Firebites is saying if the Ducks get Bedard, then yes, you decline, and you get the 4 first-round picks.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, that's a little bit different. But
yeah,
man, even still, I don't know.
I still think you keep Zegras because
maybe I'm a little because the thing is,
what are you trying to do with?
Are you getting that?
Are you trying to essentially get as many first-round picks ever to essentially give this as many legs as possible? Or are you trying to make it once you're good, you are like great?
How much are those draft picks really going to help you? Because now your team is better.
Yeah.
And so you're going to be drafting guys not in the top 10, not in that kind of range. So you're going to be drafting guys that are going to come along like 3 years later. And at that point, those picks, like basically the value of getting those picks is that you have more picks to trade to make your team better.
What would you rather have? I guess let's put it like this. If it's a team that's later and the Ducks are contending and going to be contending, what would you rather have, I guess, Trevor Zegras or 4 Isaac Lundestroms?
I mean, you could have 20 Isaac Lundestroms. Give me Trevor Zegras.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think there's a conversation to be had. I think it depends on where that team's profile
It's a very interesting thought. But I think that even if, like, really, and you already said it, but the only way that you do that is if you have Connor Bedard. And even then, like, I think the part of the value of getting Connor Bedard, if you're the Ducks, is that you have this core that you can just inject him into. And by trading Trevor Zegras, you're basically kind of mitigating that in the wrong direction. So
yeah. Garrett Fielding in our YouTube chat also said bold prediction or you guys point on the bold prediction for the jerseys. Wouldn't that just be going back to the full original set? That would be bold, more or less, is what he's saying.
So full original meaning
Eggplant and Jade. That would be bold.
Maybe I'm just so skeptical and cynical that I just don't see that ever happening.
Well, I mean,
but
here's
I don't.
The thing. bold prediction. That's bold.
That is a very bold prediction.
Yeah.
And I'm just so, no pun intended, jaded that I don't see that happening.
Wow. So, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I think that does it for all the questions.
There was actually a question on Twitter. I don't know if this was really intended to be a question, but someone asked me, would love to hear you discuss this on the pod.
Okay.
And I quote tweeted a quote. This was a question from Ray G, who said, would love to hear you expand on this on the pod. There was a quote that I saw on Twitter that said, it was from Bill Belichick, who, if you don't know, is like possibly the greatest football coach ever in the NFL, said, good players can't overcome bad coaching. I don't care how good the players are, they can't overcome bad coaching. Now, I think in the NFL, like in football, I think that's very true because the head coach has such an impact on the game with all the decisions, the play calling, all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Does that hold true in the sport of ice hockey?
Read the quote one more time.
Good players can't overcome bad coaching. I don't care how good the players are, they can't overcome bad coaching. Like if you have a bad, I guess this is my litmus test. Would Wayne Gretzky have had the same career if he had like the worst coach ever? I just, for me personally, I don't think that a coach in hockey can just destroy a player's career like that.
Let me ask this because I'm trying to figure out the context of this and think through the different avenues. Is this meant to be he would ruin his career and the good player becomes bad? Or are we just saying good players cannot overcome bad coaching when it comes to winning games?
I mean, we have no other context. Let's play it out both ways. So if if a good player can't overcome bad coaching to win games, I think in the long run that's actually true.
Yep, I do too. We saw that with the Ducks this year. I think that.
Well, I don't know if I'd use the Ducks as an example, but
no, but it's a decent example though.
Like I look at like the Rangers, for example. Like I think they have a great roster. I think that they've assembled a lot of talent, but I just don't think Gerard Gallant coaches a style that is just that is going to be repeatable in the postseason.
So where I was going with that from the Ducks side of it is that, more or less, you look at any of the projection models, you look at anything like that. Basically had him in the 80-ish point range. And I think that kind of was all based upon the fact that this roster was not horrible. And they've ended up becoming one of the worst teams in the league and one of the worst defensive teams in the league. And I think the kind of key thing to look at there is coaching. And no matter how many good players you have, whether it's Terry, whether it's Zegras, whether it was Klingberg for all of his warts, whether it's Fowler, whether it's these guys that have had good careers or up and coming good young players, they were not able to overcome the bad coaching to essentially not be a bad team.
The total lack of structure with this team, I don't think is purely a product of the roster. Like I think at a certain point, I mean, I keep coming back to it, but like look at the Canadians, even before they got some of their players back with Marty St. Louis, like they play hard and they have a structure, and you know, the underlying numbers aren't great, but you can just see it. Like the coaching does have an impact even when you have a weaker roster. I think that on an individual level, I still think like in hockey, I think that good players are still going to be good players. Yeah. But I think to succeed as a team, it's not enough to have just a great player. Like you need, like, I mean, look at the Penguins. Like for a long time, and even like the Capitals. Actually, Capitals is probably a better example. Like for a long time, they just were going through coaches. They couldn't find a way to break through in the postseason. And then, you know, you get Barry Trotz, who kind of brings this really kind of playoff style defensively, makes them a really strong 5-on-5 team, and they find a way to win. Like it's coaching really, really matters. Like I think that in Anaheim, we've kind of just become a little numb to the impact of coaching because we just haven't really seen this team be well coached in, I mean, how long now? Like 6 years? 7 years? Like it's been a long time.
Probably since Boudreau was fired.
It's been a long time since the Ducks have had a coach that actually made them better. Like I don't think that Randy Carlyle came in 16-17 and made the team better. I think that he basically was just like, I'm just going to play my best players like half the game, more than half the game.
There was a lot of the remnants of a Bruce Boudreau team in that.
And also it's hard to kind of separate those two. So that is my thought there. So that was a fun little question.
Yep.
Also, did you see the Gibson news?
Which, maybe?
Gibson to Washington.
What?
Gibson to Washington.
What are you talking about?
I tweeted it, and people are replying. People are going crazy about it.
Do I need to look at your Twitter?
Go look at my Twitter.
Oh, I'm terrified of this.
Gibson to Washington.
What did you do? What havoc are you causing? Oh. I figured it was something like that.
Look at the replies, though. They're so funny. People are so mad at me. So for those who can't see right now, so today some random college goalie, Mitchell Gibson, signed with the Capitals. And maybe I scared someone who's listening who doesn't know what I'm talking about, but I thought it was funny. People who are like legitimately upset by that tweet, by the way, like, come on. Have a little fun. Have a little fun.
Yeah, I mean that's the same people that were mad at me for saying the Ducks won the Klingberg trade.
Yeah, it's like, come on. Like this is stupid. This is Twitter. This is like the least credible website on the internet right now.
We're just having some fun here. Let us have fun. Let us cook.
Yeah. Yeah, let us cook.
Yeah.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
I wanted to put a couple of things out there.
Okay, let's hear them.
I don't know do I have a number 2? Anyway, I'll start with number 1. Had Shake Shack yesterday. Very pleasant experience. Very pleasant experience. I had a burger, Shake Shack burger, extra patty, and a milkshake. And I gotta say, I don't really know why Shake Shack gets so much heat from people. I agree it's not as good as In-N-Out, but it's just a solid burger. There's some issues. It's a little greasy.
It's fine.
But their shakes are phenomenal.
Their shake when I got their shake, it was not good.
Phenomenal. Fantastic.
What type of shake?
Chocolate shake. The only kind of shake worth getting.
So here's my issue with their chocolate shake.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if I've said this on this podcast. I may have before. Their chocolate shake, it's very clear that it is made with chocolate ice cream.
Yes.
And
and
good chocolate shakes are made with vanilla ice cream with chocolate syrup.
No.
Yes.
That's the wrong answer. Wrong answer.
90% of chocolate shakes are made
That's what
like
makes
that.
them usually bad.
No, they're good. That is the way to go. Like a chocolate shake made with chocolate ice cream is not as good as vanilla ice cream with chocolate syrup.
Wrong answer. That is just simply the wrong answer.
I mean, it's correct, but whatever. Go off, King.
And then another observation. Had Chipotle today. You can see I'm really on a streak of eating, super healthy. Had their Al Pastor chicken.
Okay. What'd you think?
Not a fan. Not
Why?
a fan. It's just too much.
I liked it.
Oh, you've tried it?
Yeah.
I mean, like it's not bad, but it's just
I think it's better than the regular chicken.
See, I disagree. I think the regular chicken's better. I don't need my chicken to taste like sweet almost. I don't need that.
It is more sweet than normal Al Pastor.
Yeah, like there was like this weird kind of sweet taste, which I just did not.
It's because they really went heavy on the pineapple.
Ugh. Oh, that means I ate pineapple? Ugh. No.
Yes. Yeah. Al Pastor's
fruit doesn't belong anywhere close to pork.
Al Pastor is traditionally served with pineapple.
Yeah, I'm aware.
You just really went for it there, didn't you?
Did I though?
You just did.
Did I though?
You did. All
okay.
right.
That's all I've got.
Yeah.
Some observations.
I've got nothing. Gonna go to a wrestling show this weekend. Not WrestleMania.
Wow.
Gonna be a good time.
Any baseball predictions?
Angels make the playoffs.
Wow. That might be your boldest prediction today.
I don't know.
My prediction, Giants make the playoffs. There you go.
Okay.
There you go.
Cool.
In that NL West. Okay. Well, on that note, we're gonna get out of here. I think we've been very timely today. I'm a fan. So if you want to help support the show and keep this thing alive and going, there are some really easy ways for you to do that. The number one way is to go to our Patreon, patreon.com/crashthepond. For a $1 monthly pledge, you get access to our patrons-only Discord server. It's a ton of fun. I spend probably more time in there than I should, but it's with good reason. It's good vibes in there. You get to connect with other diehard Ducks fans. There's always people in there chatting away, whether it's about the game that's going on for the Ducks, whether it's about trades. I mean, the draft is coming up. The draft lottery is coming up. So You know you're going to get some very spirited conversations in there, but you don't just have to talk hockey. I mean, there's a food channel in there as well. There's other sports being discussed. There's wrestling. So go check it out. That's for $1 a month. For $5 a month, you get that, and you get 2 bonus podcasts. So in those podcasts, we go a little more larger scope. We talk about the rest of the NHL. We still talk about the Ducks too, but if you kind of enjoy the way we talk about the Ducks, the way we talk about hockey, and you just want more of that, well, and in a broader scope, I think that those extra podcasts are going to be really fun for you. So that's all at patreon.com/crashthepond. Go check that out. You can also leave us a rating and a review on Apple Podcasts. Just search Crash the Pond and leave a rating and a review. Those go a really long way. And I'm pretty sure we've got less total reviews than total downloads per episode. So there's definitely some of you out there that have not done your homework and have not submitted a review. So if you haven't done so yet, please do. We would really appreciate it, especially in this tough season. You can imagine that people aren't necessarily jumping out of their seats to go listen about a team that's that's losing a bunch. So go check that out. You can also find us on YouTube, youtube.com/crashthepond. Subscribe there, turn on your notifications, and support us there. You can also find us on Spotify. Leave us a rating there. Find us on Twitter. Search the Sporting Tribune on Twitter. Jake is on Twitter at ReindeerGames91. I'm on Twitter at Felix_Sicard. And also follow our good buddy Derek Lee on Twitter. I don't have his handle, but
I've got it. He changed it. It's Derek_Lee27.
Boom. There you go. So follow him. We'll probably get him on the podcast at some point here.
Yep.
But with all that being said, thank you for listening. Have a great rest of your week. And we will talk to you soon. Spring sprung.
Bye.